Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and I'm going to try this one more again. I'm going to try to review this show one more time and try to make it through the whole season. So I'm here to review Season 5, Episode 1 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now, let me just say that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is my favorite of the franchise, and out of all the ratchet reality TV shows there are, Love and Hip Hop definitely slides into my #1 spot. So I'm gonna try my best to stick through this whole season, because y'all know last time I tried to do Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, I made like 8 episodes in it and I just washed my hands of it. So, alright, so we're gonna do a play-by-play for this episode, or at least attempt to, and try to make this video as quick as possible. So pretty much this whole episode was just kind of catching up with everybody, seeing where everybody was since season 4, and kind of seeing what's changed, what hasn't changed. Some old cast members are no longer on the show. We definitely, of course, have new people. We always have new people every season. So let's just go through what happened. So we first check in with Carly. She's opened a store in LA. She's hanging out with Rashida and Tammy. Tammy has now been added back to the show. I think Tammy was on the show season 3. And then she was kind of like a recurring friend of the show season 4. So now she's back to being a regular person. And I guess they placed Tammy in to fill the void of Erica Dixon no longer being on the show. So not much is going on with Carly. I feel like somewhere I heard, it might not have been on this episode, but maybe somewhere else, where Carly was talking about her and life weren't really working. Maybe I made all that up in my head. I don't know. I'm already hot and I'm about to start sweating. Oh, Lord. Jesus, help me get through this. Okay, so like I said, Carly meeting with them. Carly mentioned the fact that Mimi has a new boo, and we'll get to that later. We also are introduced to Karen King, who goes by KK. I had to write all this down because I don't remember any of this stuff. Karen King has 2 sons, Saz. I'm guessing that's how you say it. They never actually showed him in a confessional thing. They showed the correct spelling of his name, because at first I thought they said his name was Taz, like Tasmanian Devil, but I believe it's Saz and Scrap. And we got to try not to get confused, because now we have Scrap and we have Scrappy. So, let's just stay focused today. They are at this same function that Carly and them are at, and it is to honor a rapper by the name of Dollar, who I guess was killed in Atlanta a little over a year ago. Dollar was KK's nephew, and her sons looked at him like a brother. So they're there kind of honoring his spirit, and just pretty much celebrating the life that he had and his contributions to whatever music he made, because I don't know anything about him, nor have I heard any of his music. Jock is also at this function. He was talking about Karen King's family, the King family, as he referenced them. He says they have a reputation, they're feared, but they're also respected. And let's just get into a little bit of this background. All right, so here's the background of who's who. Okay, so just try to stick with me. All right, so we have Karen King. Karen King is the mother. She has 2 sons, Saz and Scrap, not to be confused with Scrappy. Scrap has a baby mama. His baby mama's name is Tiara. Scrap also has a girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Tommy. Alright, so we got 2 T's. Let's not get confused. Stay with me. Scrap manages his little brother Saz's rap career as well, I guess. And I think Scrap might be a rapper too. Either way, I haven't heard music from any of them. But I don't listen to rap, so it's not likely that I would, and I don't live in Atlanta. So, y'all still with me? Cool. So KK pulls Tommy to the side. Tommy's the baby mama of Scrap. Pulls her to the side and says, there's something I need to talk to you about. And pretty much she just wants to tell her that she feels like Tommy is the girlfriend. KK pulls Tommy, the girlfriend, to the side to tell her about Tiara, the baby mama, because she feels like Tiara is trying to make her way back into Scrap's life. This is already too much in episode 1. And KK does not trust Tiara, because Tiara allegedly killed some of KK's dogs some time ago. Still with me? Cool. So Tommy is like, okay, I'm going to look into it. All right, now let's go to Scrappy, little Scrap. Put them paws on him. He meets with Mama D. Mama D, of course, got married last season to Ernest. However, things aren't really all that peachy keen right now, because she says, after they got married, they did not go on a honeymoon, and she found out Ernest doesn't pay his bills. So I guess we'll get into that a little bit more later. But that's all they said about that. Bambi is no longer on the show either. So Scrappy is single. He now has a apartment with Jock, who is also single. So there's no KD, there's no Cena. So those two are now single, sharing an apartment. Scrappy now has an assistant named Taylor, and we'll get back to her a little bit later. All right, so while Scrappy is talking to Mama D, we find out that Scrappy is kind of having an issue with Rashida and Kirk. If you remember, I think maybe first season, we found out that Rashida and Scrappy have had some kind of like family type relationship. Like Scrappy looks at Rashida and Kirk like aunt and uncle, and, like it's like a cool family type knit bond or something. And apparently Scrappy had some kind of court date that he needed somebody to come and kind of vouch for him and his character and show that he's, making changes to do whatever it is he needs to do. And he was counting on Rashida and Kirk to come, but they did not come because Rashida was still out in California shooting Rosewood with Morris Chestnut. And side note, Rashida later in the episode, they were talking about, Rashida, she did such a great job in the show. And I like Rashida. However, I did see Rosewood and Rashida didn't have any speaking parts. So, unless maybe she was on some other episodes. But the episode that I saw, and she didn't say anything, so... Okay. Alright. Lord, I'm tired already. So back to Taylor, who is Scrappy's assistant. Jock is eyeing her, so I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. Jock is trying to smash and, do whatever it is he wants to do. And I think Scrappy might be on that same page too, but Scrappy is not messing with his assistant, Taylor. Alright, so now we check back in with Mimi. Mimi is go-karting with her new boo. Chris. She says that the relationship is intense, but nobody knows outside of Arian and her daughter. Other than that, nobody knows about her new boo, Chris. Throughout the episode, we are going to talk a lot about Chris, but I'll save the big secret about Chris until the end. Make you wait for something. All right, so then we meet up with Jessica Dimepiece. She's meeting up with Carly and Tommy. So earlier I was telling you that KK told Tommy that she needs to look into Tiara, so that is what we're transitioning into now. So Carly, Jessica, Dime, and Tommy are at this, not necessarily a nightclub, more like a bar, and Jessica is not really sure why she's there. And I don't remember if Tommy reached out to Carly or if Carly reached out to Tommy. Either way, we all know it was set up by production. It didn't just happen this way. But they're there to scoop out Tiara, the baby mama, so Tommy can get more information on her. And, just lo and behold, it's so coincidental that the three of them would be sitting in Tiara's section of the bar. How ironic is it that the one person that y'all are here to investigate and interrogate, you're sitting in her section and she is your bartender. Oh my gosh, the coincidences are just crazy. So Tommy fills them in to let them know why she's here. And Jessica's not really, here for it, but, she's here, so... And Carly is down for it. Y'all know Carly is very messy, so, this is right up her alley, So Tiara comes over. Like I said, they grill her and they kind of get some more information about her. Tiara talks about the fact that Stevie J is kind of like an uncle to her, and Tiara is... Did Tiara say she was really cool with... Tiara might have said she's really cool with... Jocelyn. But I know Tommy says she's really cool with Jocelyn too, so that kind of raised a side up for Jessica, because Jessica Dime, even though she made up with Jocelyn on the reunion last season, things just, I guess, did not stay that way. So Jessica has her kind of eye up to Tommy for saying how cool she is with Jocelyn. But later on in the episode, Jessica seems to start gravitating more towards Tiara, who she's there to... Not even she's there to, but who they're there to interrogate. This is a lot going on in this first episode. They really just... They ain't even tiptoeing to it. They just kicked the daggone door in. So throughout the night, we keep talking about this party that Mimi is throwing for Chris. And, aside from Tammy, everybody else just keeps referring to Chris as her boo. There's never any... It's always boo sans gender. There's never any reference to the gender because, it's just assumed that we're talking about a guy. And are we? I don't know. So Rashida, we catch up with her in her store Pressed, which I think, I'm not going to even guess what mall it's in, but it's in one of the upscale malls in Atlanta. She says that it's doing well. She hired her mom to help her in the store as well as her stepdaughter Kelsey, but they're not really doing anything. So when Mama D and Scrappy were talking, Scrappy told Mama D, how he was feeling about Rashida. So Mama D took it upon herself to go talk to Rashida. So Mama D comes to the store pretty much just to get some information about what went on and why Rashida and Kirk didn't show up for Scrappy. And, Rashida lets her know it's because of Rosewood and all that kind of stuff. And long story short, Rashida and her mom, Charlene, I think that's her name, get into it with Mama D. A bunch of foolery. And then it goes like to another level of coonery. And Mama D pulls out this bag of straw and hay. And I was first like, oh, she about to do voodoo or something. And then she starts making this nest on Rashida's floor. And she says, there, next time you have a bad egg, you put her in that nest. And she was telling Charlene in reference to Rashida being the bad egg. I mean, they started early with the stunts. They started real early with the stunts. But we gon' roll with it. All right. So then we meet up with Scrap, and his name says Scrap Deleon. No, the Scrap. That's the son of KK. Scrap has long hair. I don't know why I told y'all that, but he has long hair. So Scrap is taking care of Tiara, baby mama. He's taking care of all 4 of her kids. They only have one child together, and his name is King. But I guess Scrap is a father that is there for his children, or there for his baby mama, so he's there to kind of help her with the situation. Tiara tells us that she works in a financial firm by day and she's a bottle girl by night. I guess because she's not making enough in the financial firm to sustain the lifestyle that she would like to have for her 4 children. So that's why she's doing both jobs, and Scrap is there to help out, to watch the kids while she's at work. Now, I mean, it's a classic situation that we always get in the Love and Hip Hop franchises where you got a guy who's stuck between 2 girls. I mean, honestly, the whole storyline of a guy being between 2 girls, it is really getting old. We got another season to deal with it. I feel like every season, every franchise, we got at least one male character who is in between 2 different female characters, and neither one of them act like they don't know nothing about each other. Then they eventually confront each other, and then that confrontation turns into a fight. And then it just turns into them bickering the whole season over the same penis. I mean, just go back and reference my penis video about Amina and Tara after this one. It'll do you or somebody some good. Oh, my phone cut off. So Scrap is there with baby mama. They're kissing. Obviously, they're still having sex with each other. It is what it is. Oh, and even still, when Tiara was being interrogated by the 3 musketeers in the nightclub, Tiara said that no, her and her baby father are not together, but she can still get it, and she still gets it when she wants it. And Tommy's like, oh, okay. So, because Tommy doesn't blow up the spot right there, and she decides to try to hold up this information. So, back to Tiara and Scrap. I'm doing pretty good. Tiara and Scrap are talking. I guess Tiara's just trying to get some clarity on exactly what they are and, what's going on with them. But Scrap is very content in their situationship. Then Tiara brings up the fact that 3 girls came into the bar and she names them, and he hears Tommy's name and he's like, not too many women named Tommy, so he knows something up. So he gets out of there with the quickness. And he leaves there and he goes and he sees Tommy, who just happens to be in lingerie waiting on him. He confronts her about going to see Tiara, because throughout this whole time, somehow Tommy didn't know who Tiara was. Tommy is with the man who has a child, but she knows nothing aside from a name about the child's mother. Which is hard to believe, but I guess is realistic. However, when you're in the same city, I mean, I don't know. I'm not in that situation, so I wouldn't know. But, hey. So, take a breath. Tommy asks Scrap, is he and Tiara still sleeping together? He says no, of course. The same old thing. What dude is really going to tell that he's, like, smashing his baby mama? So he says no. And she says that Tiara needs to know who she is, and if he not gonna tell her, then she's gonna tell her. He says, I don't take too kindly to threats, which is the typical F-N word move, oh, you're not going to threaten me. I don't take too kindly to threats. How dare you say you're going to go tell my baby mama who I'm still smashing that you exist. You know, you need to stay in your place. It's that kind of thing. You know, when dudes get caught, they start getting defensive, like they ain't doing nothing wrong. But, you know, Tommy feels like she needs to know, and of course she does. So he just said again that he didn't take too kindly to threats, and I feel like that's how they ended. So then finally we get to Mimi's party. And, you know, pretty much everybody is there. Tammy, Rashida, Dime, Tommy, everybody there. And Mimi walks in with Arian and then like some other random people, some guys, some girls. There's one guy that's like right behind Arian who everybody just assumes is Chris. And they're like, oh, he's like a light Idris Elba type thing or something. And Mimi's like, Chris, come up on stage, baby. And they looking, and it's like this little short girl with like shaved sides and like this rooster thing going on up at the top who comes up on the stage. And oh my gosh, y'all, surprise, surprise, Mimi is in a relationship with the woman. She's not in a relationship with the man. Hence the reason why nobody really even said him throughout the show, except for Tammy that one time. Oh my gosh, you know, she says she's happy. I think she said that she's dealt with so many PUSSYs that she's now liking to have a PUSSY. You know, I don't say bad words and stuff. So that's how that ends. Everybody in the group is shocked and they're just like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought that you was with a girl, but this is, you know, can't put anything past you. And then Tiara walks in. Dime greets her at the door. And that's how it ends. I really thought this episode was going to end in a fight, you know, because I know Tommy is going to confront Tiara. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fight. But I really thought this episode was going to end in a fight with like a to be continued next week. So that's pretty much it for season 5, episode 1 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. No Stevie, no Jocelyn. I guess they're still at this time still in LA from their spinoff show, and they'll be joining the group maybe next episode. But if you remember last season, Jocelyn wasn't in the first episode either. I guess, you know, they have to save the best for last and they want everybody to wait for her. So that's it for this review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 5 episode 1. Make sure y'all rate. Did I leave anything out? If I did, y'all better go to vh1.com and watch the full episode. Make sure y'all rate, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm gonna try my best to do all these episodes and give my level-headed black man commentary, but I just wanted to get everybody reacclimated with what's going on in Atlanta. So I'll be talking to y'all later, and I'm about to go to bed. Peace.